15 things you didn't know about champagne. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Welcome, Aluxers. We're really excited to see you back, ready to watch another fascinating and insightful video. In this production, we'll be taking a look at champagne. Champagne is famous worldwide as a luxury drink, actually the luxury drink. It's a drink for celebrating, partying, or just symbolic of living the high life. Mark Twain said, "Too much of anything is bad, but too much champagne is just right." But why is it so iconic? The thing is, as you'll find out later on in this video, that in order for it to really be called champagne, it needs to be produced in a certain region of France. Speaking of the market size, as of 2016, there are around 300 houses of champagne. 268 million bottles of real champagne have been made last year, and it's a $4.7 billion market. Please keep in mind that we're not speaking about sparkling wine here, just the real stuff. Let's find out 15 things you might not know about champagne. Number 1. Marilyn Monroe once took a bath in champagne. Champagne has always been associated with the rich and famous, and their often flamboyant and extravagant lifestyles. No one epitomizes this more than Marilyn Monroe. It took 350 bottles of champagne to fill the bath. And on the subject of famous people, Paul Roget made a special 1-pint bottle for Winston Churchill that was served to him at 11 a.m. every day. Number 2. James Bond declared Tattinger Blanc Blanc 1943 as probably the finest champagne in the world. James Bond may be fictional, but he is another famous name connected with the fizzy stuff. As well as his trademark shaken not stirred martini, the British secret agent is known for his love of champagne. Though his predilection for Boulanger is well known, in Casino Royale, he made known his knowledge of the world's best champagnes. His love and appreciation of fine champagne is a characteristic of his hedonistic luxury lifestyle. It is understood that he is seen drinking champagne 35 times. And still on the subject of champagne and famous people, Number 3. Rapper and R&B superstar Jay-Z once had a favorite champagne brand, so he bought it. Sean Carter, husband of Beyoncé and one half of the world's power couple, is the major stakeholder in Armand de Brignac champagne, which is also known as Ace of Spades. It comes in a distinctive gold-colored bottle and is one of the most expensive retail champagnes on the market. Here's an interesting fact. Marketing surveys have shown that concert-goers of hip-hop concerts, rap and R&B gigs are 94% more likely to drink champagne than the average person. Now let's see what it is about champagne that makes it such an iconic luxury drink. Number 4. Only if it was made in the Champagne region in northwest France can it be called champagne. Champagne is a type of sparkling wine, but to carry the name of champagne, it must have been made in a specific region of Champagne, from grapes grown in vineyards around the towns of Reims, Epernay, Troyes, and Chaumont. All other sparkling wines must be called simply sparkling wine, or méthode champenoise, the champagne method. This distinction is also a factor in price. The Champagne area of France is perfect for growing grapes. The area was once the floor of an ancient prehistoric sea, and the chalky remains of marine creatures are the foundation of the soil. That's the secret sauce in making the finest champagne in the world. Number 5. The most expensive champagne in the world is Taste of Diamonds. Taste of Diamonds made its debut in 2013 and costs a cool $2.07 million. This is mainly because the bottle, designed for Goût de Diamant, a sports diamond-shaped label made of pure white gold set with a large Swarovski crystal. Although other countries like Australia, Italy, and New Zealand produce excellent sparkling wines that give champagne a serious run for its money, being unable to use the name champagne inevitably makes them cheaper than French bubbly. Plus, it's usually the best French champagnes that command the high roller prices. If you ever want to see the ranking for the most expensive champagnes in the world, go ahead and head over to our website, Alux.com. Number 6. The invention of champagne is accredited to Dom Perignon, a 17th century Benedictine monk. In fact, this is something of a romantic theory because although the monk did make valuable contributions to the champagne production process, the sparkling white wine we know today didn't become established until the mid-19th century. Another stream of historical thought believes that an Englishman incongruously produced the first sparkling wine around the same time as Dom Perignon was performing his experiments. If you're wondering, the story about Dom Perignon being the inventor of champagne stems from the early 18th century. Let's call it advertising, aimed at increasing the prestige of Dom's church, the Abbey of Hautevillers, a church which the ruins of today belong to Moet and Chandon. Number 7. Dom Perignon revolutionized the champagne-making process. You really can't discuss facts about champagne without talking about the bubbles. Without the bubbles, it would just be another white wine. The bubbles are the main reason the French monk is linked to the creation of champagne. Dom Perignon developed the second fermentation process, in which sugar and yeast are added to the wine. When these two ingredients combine, carbon dioxide is created in the form of millions of bubbles. Did you know the smaller the bubbles, the better the quality of champagne? Might want to remember that next time you drink some. Number 8. There can be about 49 million bubbles in a regular-sized bottle of champagne at room temperature. 30 bubbles are created every second, and the trail they create on the inside of the glass even has its own name, colorette. Those millions of bubbles are trapped in a very small space. No wonder then that when they are released from their glassy confinement, they froth with such wild abandon. And talking of freeing the bubbles, Number 9. The pressure in a champagne bottle can be as much as 90 pounds per square inch. That means there's 3 times more pressure in a single bottle of champagne than in a car tire. No wonder then, when the pressure is released, there is that popping sound that everyone associates with the opening of a champagne bottle. In the early days of champagne, makers would find corks blown prematurely out of their bottles. This led to champagne being called the devil's wine because it was thought to be the work of spiritual beings. Makers took to wearing iron helmets to prevent being hit by stray flying corks. It's no laughing matter. The longest recorded flight of a champagne cork is a huge 177 feet. That's half a football field, and a flying cork can reach up to 25 miles per hour. Number 10. Shipwreck champagne took nearly 80 years to reach its final destination. These champagne facts are very interesting, but sometimes those who can afford the finest things in life are attracted to something other than a high price tag. Being able to buy and own something with a level of exclusivity is just as enticing as the ability to afford anything your heart desires. Such is the case with Shipwreck champagne. This refers to 200 bottles of 1907 Heidsick monopole that took 80+ years to reach their destination. The bottles that were originally destined for the court and army officers of Tsar Alexander II were discovered by divers off the coast of Finland and are now sold to the wealthiest guests of Moscow's Ritz-Carlton Hotel at prices in excess of $275,000. If you'd like to learn more about the things that get the rich excited, click on the top right-hand corner to watch our video, 10 Luxury Items That Impress Even the Rich. Meanwhile, let's get back to learning more about champagne. Number 11. The term vintage champagne does not mean it is superior to other champagnes. People who aren't au fait with or are not regular quaffers of champagne often think that vintage means superior. This is a common misconception. The term vintage is applied to champagne that is made from grapes all harvested in the same year. So a 1998 vintage means all the grapes were grown and harvested in 1998. It doesn't mean the champagne is older than those not marked as vintage, nor is it a sign of superiority. Number 12. Champagne is classified according to taste. Like all sparkling wines, champagne is described with a term that expresses taste. The terms relate to the sugar level and are sec, brut, extra brut, and extra dry, with dry being the opposite of sweet. Number 13. There is an estimated 1 billion bottles of champagne in storage around the world. It makes you wonder why people store it rather than drink it, doesn't it? Some are undoubtedly going to be dragged out to christen new ships and boats. No launch of a luxury yacht or ocean-going liner would be complete without the smashing of a bottle of champagne on the hull. It's a tradition that began back in ancient Babylonia, where liquids were used to test the hull for holes. By the early 1900s, champagne had become the beverage of choice and is purely ceremonial. Number 14. The act of opening a bottle of champagne with a sword is known as sabre-jeu. This is one of the long-standing champagne traditions. Sabre-jeu comes from the French word sabre, as this is the sword type originally used. It was started by Napoleon's soldiers celebrating victories in battle. The blunt side of the sword is used, and today it is purely ceremonial. Very few of us have a saber on hand to make a show of it, so we should know the proper way to open a champagne bottle by hand, which leads me to number 15. There is a correct way to open a bottle of champagne. Be indiscriminate and disrespectful of the bubbles and pressure, and all you'll end up with is a projectile cork and a fountain of fizz. Champagne bottles should be opened carefully and slowly. Keep your hand on the cork at all times, even when removing the foil and wire cage. Ease off the cage and then slowly twist the bottle, not the cork, until the cork is free. Experts say you should hear a sigh rather than a pop, as the pop is a sign of too much pressure built up in the bottle. Once the bottle is open, there is the question of the correct glass. Coupe or flute? You might be swayed by the romantic notion that the coupe was supposedly modeled on Marie Antoinette's breast, but the fizz will last longer if champagne is served in a flute. We're curious to know, Aluxers. Are you a purist who likes their champagne neat and unadulterated, or are you partial to champagne in mixed drinks like cocktails? Maybe you like to drop strawberries in your flute. Please let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching right through to the end. We know you've already learned a great deal about champagne, but as a reward, we have one more fact for you. Number 16. Approximately 28,000 bottles of champagne are served at Wimbledon every year. We've already hinted that champagne has an affinity with fruit, particularly strawberries, so it seems completely relevant that the British tennis tournament that is so closely associated with strawberries and cream should also be known for how much champagne is drank during the fortnight. But of course, strawberries are not the only fruity partner for champagne. We can't ignore the iconic Buck's Fizz. Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, said champagne and orange juice is a great drink. The orange improves the champagne. The champagne definitely improves the orange. Who can argue with that? There's also the Bellini, which is peach nectar, pulp and juice, with champagne. And Kir Royale, where cassie, a blackcurrant liqueur, is added to the fizz. Let's end with another perfect quote, shall we? Champagne, king of wines and wine of kings. Prince Orlovsky. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question on our website, Alux.com. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.